Today we're diving into the chilling realm of sleep paralysis, where reality blurs with the eerie and the unexplainable. If you've ever felt trapped between dream and wakefulness, unable to move or scream, then you're no stranger to the spine-tingling sensation of sleep paralysis. So, dim the lights, grab your favorite blanket for comfort, and let's explore these spine-chilling stories that will make you wonder, are they just dreams, or is something more sinister lurking in the shadows of our slumber? I was awakened by my girlfriend screaming. She had her arms raised as if to push against something, and her eyes appeared to be open. Her eyes closed, and she fell back asleep after I called her name a few times and tried to wake her up. When I roused her, she said she was battling an elderly woman who was attempting to strangle her. Last night, I was awakened by something. I had no idea what it was, but I had this strong feeling telling me I should turn around and look at my girlfriend. As I turned around, I saw what looked like an old person's face moving away from me. At that exact moment, my girlfriend let out a small scream and went back to sleep, and so did I. This morning when we woke up, the first thing my girlfriend told me was, I had a dream about that old lady again last night. What are the odds that both of us would see the same person or spirit?
When I was younger, I remember hearing a roaring sound in my ears and seeing a shadowy figure standing in the middle of my room, either calling my name and laughing or just watching me. It was so real that I wouldn't go to sleep, but my mother never took me seriously when I told her about it until it started chasing me. I would then run around my room screaming and crying, and as I grew older, it paralyzed me and I was unable to move except my eyes. I switched rooms because I thought it was the room, but it started to happen in that room too, but now it was a wolf-type figure and it was on my chest. Since I felt safer sleeping at other people's homes, I basically lived at my friend's house over that summer until it started happening there. Since then, it has happened almost every week for 2 years.
In December 2022, my wife and I were sleeping in bed when I knew or felt my wife was being attacked. I woke to find a shadow person on top of her choking her. I jumped out of bed and shared several Italian profanity with it. As I moved towards it to confront it moved away from the wall. I turned to see my wife still choking and woke her. She stated that she dreamed that she was being shaped by a person on top of her. Normally you would dismiss it, but how do two people have a simultaneous experiences? She will later have a similar experience in the army where we make rote to see a person choking her.
The old hag is misleading to me. She appears as a beautiful woman in long, flowing white gown and veil. At times, the Grim Reaper accompany her. It happens when I'm on my back just before falling asleep. Since the first occurrence, I've always felt that if she ever gets under the bed, I'll be gone for good. She hovers across the room and slowly comes closer. The Reaper in the black hooded cloak stands at the foot or side of my bed. I cannot move or speak, but can hear everything. The fear level is intense and stays with me past dawn.
I've had various experiences with sleep paralysis. I've seen my bed covers pushed down onto my face, unable to move or shout. A female voice has hissed in my ear, bringing feelings of terror. Once I saw the old woman looking at me through my bed covers. She was gray and had a menacing grin. I started hitting the covers where this misty gray face was staring from. My wife woke up at this point. I screamed, saying I saw the woman's face too. I think there's more to it than just a scientific explanation. I think it sparked physical and part supernatural. I think our brains pick up a more expansive signal when we are between sleep and the no-wake states.
I was watching TV around 2 a.m. at my grandmother's house. My granddad was in his room asleep across the room that my grandma and I were in. She was asleep as well. I heard grunting noise like someone was trying to yell for help but was being choked. I also heard an old woman and man laughing. I was afraid and awoke my grandmother. We ran to my granddad's room. He was trying to wiggle himself free and some old woman was sitting on him, holding him down. A bald man was sitting on his chair looking at us and laughing. We could slightly see through both of them, and we knew they weren't human, but evil spirits. We struggled with trying to free Granddad, and the ghost thought it was so funny that we couldn't touch her. Our hands and arms went right through her to his body. The bald man stood up tall over us. He was angry that we tried to wake Granddad. I turned on the room's light, and the spirits rose up and disappeared.
A week ago, I was awakened in the middle of the night by the sound of, I thought, my husband's voice saying, "She has my hand." He sometimes mumbles in his sleep, but it's never coherent and hasn't happened in a long time. I was lying with my head resting on his forearm, so I immediately opened my eyes and saw his hand wasn't moving or anything. Suddenly, at the same time, an enormous pressure covered my face to the point I couldn't breathe or open my mouth. As this happened, I had the feeling of a hand pressing down the top of my head and pulling my hair so hard I felt physical pain. I began the scream but couldn't open my mouth for several seconds. Finally, the pressure stopped and it was over. I want to brush this off as a nightmare, but I can't figure out why I felt pain when I was definitely conscious afterwards, and my eyes were opened the entire time. When I looked at my husband, he was in a deep sleep. I have been trying for about a year to induce sleep paralysis as a gateway to lucid dreaming. I heard about this phenomenon but never experienced it. Tonight was the first occurrence I did as I always do, lie still on my back staring at the ceiling waiting for numbness to begin. It doesn't. Instead, all the noise outside my window stops as there's someone muted the road outside. I blink and it's there. On my ceiling, it's just kind of floated downwards. Drag lines, fingers down the wall as it did. The sound was sickening. It stopped when it was nose to nose with me, his other hands on my chest and just stay there staring at me. His eyes glowed, cycling from a fluorescent purple to almost an artificial red. Then someone in the room next to me dropped something, and it just levitated upwards into the ceiling. His face was the last to melt away.
One night I'd left my windows open to let the breeze in. I don't remember falling to sleep, but I was paralyzed when I regained awareness. I remember seeing a black rain and could feel my body weighing 5 times its normal weight. I was sinking into the bed slightly. I turned my head and saw what looked like an alien gray smiling at me. It wasn't easy to move, but I slowly and forcefully crawled to the edge of my bed to fall off and hopefully wake up someone in the house. I could feel its thoughts as if they were connected to mine. I wasn't supposed to be moving was the emotion I felt from the being, but I did. I reached the edge, falling head first. When I hit the floor, I was awoken in my bed, face down, like I was when I first realized I was aware. My windows were still open and I could feel the breeze.
If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to subscribe for more videos like this. Share your scary sleep paralysis dreams down in the comments section or write to us. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.